Welcome to She Who Heals, the spiritual business podcast for healers to take up space and talk about the services they provide. When healers serve more lives, more people are able to live in the peace and joy this world has to offer. I'm your host, healer, and spiritual business coach, Alyssa K. Barrios. Hi, you guys. Welcome to another episode of She Who Heals. I'm so excited, per usual, to be here talking with you guys. And can I just start off by saying thank you to all of our listeners who have given so much love and feedback to the podcast, who have sent their words of admiration for the podcast, and those who are interested in being a guest on She Who Heals. It is such an honor to be able to hold space and connect with healers who are offering their services and here to be courageous and share their healer's journey. So if you're a healer out there who is looking to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to me. I would be more than willing to bring you on here. We are fully booked up until July, but that's okay because we will always make it happen. The divinity of the aligned timing is real. So if you are interested, go ahead and go onto my Instagram at Alyssa K. Barrios. There is a link in there that you can apply to be a She Who Heals special guest. And know that me and my team work really hard in getting your marketing taken care of. We send you awesome story posts that you can use with your quotes in there. We create headliners. So we do a lot. We really do a lot to get healers out in the world, letting people know of their services, getting the healer's voice out there loud and strong. And I, as your guest, love to interview. I really believe that's like such a strong calling of mine, is to connect with others and allow them to shine really bright and strong, right? We're a team, stronger together. That's been my motto since day one of opening a business. It's like, no matter what, stronger together. And I am a firm believer in that. So with that being said, please reach out. All you got to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. And that is such a fun way to go into my next segment and what today's episode is going to be on. And what today's episode is going to be on is healing and healers and rest. Of course, healers podcast. I'm always talking to our healers. And there is a special thing to remember as healers, right? We are also healing ourselves. And in the process of healing ourselves, if you feel that you are a healer who is healing themselves before working with others, I want to let you know you will always have something to be healing. You are more than good enough right now where you're at, right? Like that's a very self-sabotaging behavior to avoid ourselves or to, yes, I'm going to say it, strive for perfection before taking action. And that is a level of avoidance that we could be making. And that's why it's so important for this episode that we are tapping into rest. Yes, rest. For many of us healers, we have very special gifts. These special gifts are not like the rest of the world who are not healers, those who know they are not here to help others heal, right? Great, that's fine. That's not who I'm talking to. Who I'm talking to right now are those who know they are here to help others. They know they are here to hold space for others, to shine light for others, and give a different perspective in this life so they can feel freed, so they can be seen, so they can feel loved, so they can finally feel empowered, right? Like healers, we don't want people to depend on us. That's actually the last thing we want. I know for a fact I do not want any of my clients to depend on me. No, I want to empower them so they can see their power. It takes a lot of practice to see our power and feel empowered because we have tons of layers that we're shedding. So my goal for my clients is I know they're going to be working with me for a very long time because it's going to take a long time to get there. And that's totally fine. That's why I have my healers and I work with most of my healers for right now. I'm working with my longest healer. We're on our we're just signed for another 7 months. Like you guys, I know who I'm here to work with. I feel aligned to those I am working with. And now that I'm actually at this level of grace and compassion for myself, I'm finally being consistent with those in my life to help teach me, right? For a long time, I was avoiding certain people in my life because they pushed me to be better or they shine light on my triggers. And by shining light on my triggers, I wanted to avoid them. So I moved on from them. Well, now I'm realizing that's not really going to help me in my growth. Like God gives us certain people in our lives to journey with. And to those that I have stepped away from, like, I love you, I see you, I thank you, I forgive myself for not fully being there with you all the time, right? Like, I'm thinking of healers that I've stepped away from. I'm thinking of coaches I've stepped away from. Thinking of teachers that I didn't really admire. I of course admired, especially now as a grown adult who's like realizing that we're all doing our best and we're each a reflection of one another. But what I want to continue saying is like to those that I didn't fully respect, right? Like it is so safe to admit that we are not always perfect beings. And I don't want to be perfect because if I was perfect, I wouldn't have this strong of an impact that I have in my business and in the lives of helping others. Like, thank you, God, for creating a very imperfect woman like myself so I can make big impact, so I can relate to others at a very deep personal way. So then I can help remind us what is really possible for our lives. And what's possible is literally resting when you are tired, trusting that you are enough, and allowing the magic, the abundance, the wealth, the health to come to you, right? So that's perfect. Perfect. Episode done. No, I'm just kidding. But you guys, really, rest is so important. And you may be thinking, okay, what? Like, of course I have to rest. I go to sleep every night. Well, I can go really deep into even resting at nighttime. But I want to talk more about what it is as a healer and why it is so important that we're resting. And I mentioned at the beginning, we are here to be resting because we're using gifts. We're using different parts of our bodies, different parts of our energies to create the life that we're here to create. Most of the time, we have been taught not to tap into these gifts, into this magic. Instead, we've been taught to work against it. So we're unlearning that bad behavior. We're unlearning that behavior, shouldn't call it bad, but we're unlearning the behavior that does not serve us healers, right? So, for example, being in a classroom from, let's say, 7 a.m. till 3 p.m., and then doing homework from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m., and then having maybe just an hour of creation time before we got to go to bed and redo that whole sequence again. Like, no more, no, thank you. So, we're unlearning that behavior of our psychologically thinking that we have to consistently be busy in order to be considered successful in society. Thank you, society. I love you, society, but I do not have to agree with you. I choose myself. I choose what feels great for myself. And that takes the hardest part of especially opening your business. Like for many of my healers, there's no point in implementing more and more business strategy or learning more business strategy if you don't even know how to take care of yourself, right? And you are unable to trust your self care. You're unable to even know what your self care is. And that's why rest is so important. Okay. So, in today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 ways on how you can rest. Okay. Don't laugh at me. Whoever's laughing at me for having a whole episode on how to rest, you're going to thank me at the end of this, I promise, because I'm going to drop some golden nuggets for you guys. And let me also share that I'm a manifester. So, yay, we're really excited and blessed to have a manifester in this leading role. But of course, that's also what manifestors are. There's only 9% of us in the universe because manifestors used to rule the world for a little bit. Okay, obviously my language is very dramatic because I am a dramatic person. So please don't go fact checking me. But what I'm saying is there were many manifestors at one point of history in this human design world and in our world. But manifestors began to get silenced because of these special powers we have. wow, this is all making sense. If you know me personally, you know I have a very powerful business mentor. If you are listening, hello, I appreciate you. And why I'm mentioning him right now is because I'm pretty sure he's also a manifester, because he knows a lot of manifesting gifts and he's actually reminding me of my manifestation powers. But we're not going to go into that just yet. So, what I want to talk to you again is about the power of rest. The power of rest. Rest is going to find you when you least expect it, most likely, but it's also going to find you, and I guarantee you this, it's going to find you at an unplanned time, because this is what we call the divinity of magic, the divinity of the universe, the divinity of literally you and your purpose. You, as a human, may believe you have this long to do list to do. Because, yeah, you are a leader. You do have responsibilities in this world. We do, of course, have to work and fulfill our role in the world. Totally. But have you ever heard of time and space not existing? That's what rest is. Rest is literally reminding us that time and space does not exist. So that to-do list that you may have the due dates for, or you may feel needs to get done at a certain time, or the whole world's going to shut down, or your business is going to fail, or your clients are going to hate you, that's all nonsense. That's actually a huge limiting belief we're putting on ourselves. And the reason why I want to bring into awareness this limiting belief that we're putting on ourselves and the pressure we're putting on ourselves is, one, of course, for you, because you're more powerful than pressure. You're more powerful than ever feeling like you have to get something done or else you're doomed. You're way more powerful than being doomed. But it's also because I want us to understand that what we're doing to ourselves, we're also doing to others. Okay, so if you've listened to my most second recent episode, I talk a lot about that. I've talked about how I've been very critical on myself, and then being critical on myself, I've actually been very critical on others, which can then lead to pushing people away or create destruction and can lead to just not fun situations. But again, thank you, God, for making me imperfect. So, knowing that rest is going to find you when you least expect it, when it is completely unplanned. And that is actually magic. That is actually a blessing, because that is the universe showing and telling you, I have something better planned for you. I have something greater planned for you. I have so many blessings that are on their way to you. Please trust me. So, the first way on how you can rest, and I mean like rest that is actually impactful, like rest that is going to bring you thousands of dollars in your business, rest that is going to bring you those healed moments between you and your clients, moments where, you know, that client that you're very concerned or worried about, all of a sudden, they're going to have that epiphany. They're going to feel that transformation. But I promise you, it's going to come from that moment of rest. It's going to come from that moment of rest. So, how do you rest? Allow it. Allow the rest to happen. Allow it. So, what that means and how you can allow rest is trusting the rest. Trusting that rescheduling calls or letting your clients know that you're unavailable that day unexpectedly, letting those your loved ones around you know that you may have to change plans that day, whatever it is you need to do to implement that rest, remember it's going to be beyond you. There's going to be a reason why rest needed to happen. And I really want us to understand that the moments that are happening in our lives, it is all for a grander, bigger reason. So, when you are feeling the resistance to rest, that is a resistance to the magic. That is a resistance to the result. That is a resistance to all that it is that is literally here to be serving you and your purpose. I know you want to help others. I know you want to feel responsible for others. But trust me when I say we have to allow the rest to happen. And this can be a very healing experience for you, because you're most likely going to face judgment on yourself. Of course, this judgment could be handed down to you from teachers, from coworkers, from a boss, from a parent, right? What are you doing resting when it's 11 a.m.? What are you doing resting when it's a Monday? You've had the whole weekend to rest. Hello, time and space doesn't exist in my world as a healer, because I have very special gifts and powers. I have a very grand, great purpose in this world. Hello, it is 2021. We are in a very strong, purposeful, transitional lifetime. All of our souls have chosen to be here in this lifetime. Hello to the healers who are listening, like your soul decided to be here during this time to conduct its soul's mission. We have to get out of our own way, heal all the timelines that are being asked to be healed so we can receive all that it is on our heart's desires. Healers, you have very grand desires on your hearts right now. And if you don't feel that you can connect to those grand desires or you don't see them, most likely there's more healing that is being asked to take place because we're not able to see that beyond vision. And I'm not saying you're broken if you can't see that beyond vision. Maybe you're just going to start tapping into the heart space. What do I just love? What do I enjoy? Right? How can you embrace more of what you love and what you enjoy? And in the process of embracing more of what you love and enjoy, the visions are going to get grander. The visions are going to get greater. Oh, I love and enjoy spending my weekends by myself sometimes. I love and enjoy celebrating me launching, right? So then you start to go on your own trip by yourself and you get to see what you enjoy and what brings you comfort. Wow, spending weekends away in the wilderness or weekends away by the beach. That's what I enjoy. Whoa, I can create a vision. The vision is I constantly see myself doing this over and over again in the future. Is this making sense? This is making sense. So, allowing the rest to happen and knowing that in the process of allowing this rest to happen, we are going to tap into places that are in need of healing, right? And trusting that process of the healing. And can I also reiterate and share that the healing will happen on its own during the rest? I'm not saying that rest means, okay, I'm resting, so I need to schedule a call with my healer. Okay. No, 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 no. Rest means you're doing nothing. Rest means that you are allowing yourself to maybe even, I have these, I even take some like all natural melatonin on days that I know I'm supposed to be resting, but I'm struggling to rest. You guys, secret of mine, and I'm not a doctor, so please don't fact check me or whatever, check me. I'm just sharing what works for me. And in this episode, I'm going to share why it's so important. But I sometimes have to give myself extra doses of relaxing myself, right? So I might take an all natural melatonin, or I might even take teas that are filled with nettle, or teas that are filled with mugwort, or teas that are filled with St. John's. Like these teas are going to help me relax even more because I'll be honest, sometimes I struggle and I give myself judgment. But I know that this rest is here for a reason, so I'm supporting the rest. So try to connect with whatever supports you and your rest. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I know I'm here to rest and nap. I'm going to close my blinds. Maybe I'm going to put something over my eyes, an eye pillow filled with lavender. Yummy, right? Like, how can I tune out what society or what any rule book is saying and just give myself what it needs because I'm trusting in the divine universal messages that are being sent to me because I know there's something greater and grander planned for me than I can have planned for myself. That's what the divinity and magic of following and believing in your own purpose is here for. And also, it's the co creation of you and the universe. So, the second way that you can allow yourself to rest is to understand the rest. Okay. So, I talked about allowing the rest, releasing the judgment, releasing the criticism, different ways that you can maybe help yourself rest. Now, I want to talk to you about understanding the rest. So, I'm not going to give you homework for resting because that also sounds a little silly, but my intention here is to help shift your perception on rest and give you a deeper intention to the rest. So, how can you understand the rest? Very simple. Can you be honest with yourself and reflect back on where have I overworked myself? Where have I given so much of myself and now I'm exhausted? I'm not saying that your whole business is misaligned or saying that your whole world and life is not aligned. Maybe it is. But what I'm saying is, where are you overworking yourself? And you can start bit by bit. I know, for example, sometimes I overwork myself by giving so much to my clients where I've realized Why do I not feel enough? Why do I not feel enough for my clients and I just want to constantly give, give, give? I'm actually overworking myself. Why am I constantly worrying about my social media? Why am I overworking my online presence? Where don't I feel enough? Where don't I feel that universe can support and trust me? Right? So in understanding your rest, it's also being honest of why am I so exhausted? Why am I so tired? And it's being okay with what comes to you. It's being okay with what you're realizing and learning about yourself. It's being okay with what it is that universe is asking you to learn. It doesn't have to be drama. It doesn't have to mean that you did wrong. It doesn't have to mean that you have to go write apology letters. I mean, maybe if that's a level of forgiveness that you're looking to do and you feel that you need to do, right? But it's just being honest, like, oh, okay, where can I surrender more? Where can I trust that I am enough? Where can I trust that I am needed elsewhere, right? So instead of throwing so much of my energy into over giving to my clients, right? Because then that's a level of dependency. And again, I don't want dependency whatsoever between me and my clients. I want empowerment. I want success. I want results. I want massive impact. I want massive wealth. Oh, great. I just realized that instead of over giving, there are other ways that I can serve myself. So then, of course, I'm going to end up serving clients, right? So allowing myself to remember what it is that I desire and what it is that is making me overly exhausted because we're really not here to be overly exhausted in this world. Like, especially not in this lifetime. Like, especially in this lifetime when we're filled with like so much universal support, so much magic. And we're literally, I mean, let's be honest, you guys, we're shifting completely as a society. Individuals, souls, we're going through death, we're going through rebirth, right? Like taking a breath for taking a breath for the homies, taking a breath for the lost souls, like taking the breath for the death, right? But then also taking that breath for the rebirths that are happening. So when understanding your rest, where can you surrender more? Where are you not trusting? Are you not trusting yourself? Are you not trusting those you're working with? Are you not trusting the partner? Are you not trusting the family member? Are you not trusting universe to provide for you? Are you not trusting that money loves you? Right? And the last part of understanding rest is to know that you are being prepared. This one is huge. This should be like number 3 on how to rest. Know you are being prepared. Yeah, we're going to call it number 3. So the next way that you can rest is know you're being prepared. Okay? Know you are being prepared for something. So if you enjoy manifesting, if you enjoy creating your visions, right? Then know you're being prepared. Is there a maybe episode of your favorite comfort show you're being asked to watch? Is there maybe a special place your rest is asking you to go? Is it under the sun? Is it at the beach? Right? And then allowing whatever comes through to come through because you're being prepared for something. And when you're resting as a healer, this preparation again is beyond you. So you don't have to act in that moment, right? Like give yourself the full rest until you're like, okay, I am energetically full again, right? So you might get inspired or you might have that epiphany of, oh, I'm manifesting this beautiful house by the beach, right? Because most likely you're going to be offered that next year. But what I want to continue sharing is as you are being prepared, everything that comes up during that rest is most likely here because it is a seed that is asking to be planted. Okay. So, something that I like to do to remind myself that I'm being prepared during my rest, I will write down all that it is I desire. I don't spend too long on this, but I know that's a way for me to remind myself what do I desire? I desire the multi-millions. I desire a very, very successful business that has a team. I desire serving and impacting the lives of many through their own healing journey. I desire healers to be so abundant in their wealth and health that nothing stops them in any decision or desire that they are craving, right? Like my vision for healers is for them to feel so abundant, whether it's support in strengthening their gifts, whether it's buying the car of their choice without feeling guilty or shame, whether it's them desiring a vaccine without feeling guilt or shame. Like, my desire for healers is to be so supported throughout their own journey. My desire is to be a good wife who is so confident in herself and her purpose that she's able to give all that she can to her loved ones, her family, right? So when I am resting, I'm realizing, wow, I have to be taken care of because I have a lot of responsibility in this world, a lot that I'm creating and here to create. So, in the moments of your rest, you don't have homework, okay? This isn't something that you need to be doing more of, but it's just a reminder of let's practice tapping into what we want and desire because remember, your rest is your preparation. You're being prepared for that. So your rest is actually a huge blessing. Can we shift the rest from being lazy or not like we worked hard enough or we are less than others because we have to nap more or rest more or take a whole day off unexpectedly, aka we may not be good enough? Bull, bull, all lies. As Amanda Frances says, big fat lie. Like, no, that is not true. Know that you are being prepared. You are being prepared. You are being prepared. You are being prepared from that rest. That rest is a reminder that you are being prepared. So buckle up. Do what you need to do to rest. Do whatever it is going to help your body be at such a calm state. Okay? Give yourself that extra tea. Close the blinds at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and put your eye pillow on. Listen to extra meditations. Watch your Grace and Frankie. That is my big time comfort show. I love Grace and Frankie so much, which also makes sense because I definitely desire living by the beautiful beach with my sisters and my loved ones and all of those who just make me happy and laugh, like have a good time and also be slightly dramatic. Like that's fine. I love Grace and Frankie so much. They are so fun. But what I'm sharing is know you're being prepared. Okay. And this next part of how to rest is number 4. This is probably, no, I'm not going to say it's most important because you know what? I think it's all really important. So, the fourth thing that needs to happen on how you can rest is trust the inspired action that comes from the rest. This is more of like the post rest. So, this is like what you do after the rest. Trust the inspired action that you are led to take that next day. So, for example, when I'm resting, I finally surrender to it. It's taken me a while to surrender to it. It's also taught me a lot of grace, and it's also reminded me that I can't listen to others or compare myself to others because I'm here for a very great, grand purpose. And what I'm here to do and accomplish in this world is much bigger than I've ever been taught that is possible for me, right? So I'm really creating in my own way right now in the best way. And it's also guiding me to people who are very aligned to what it is that I am creating, which has been so incredibly inspiring, but also a reminder that no one is to be idolized, just showing us what is possible in this world. Like you listened to in episode 1 of She Who Heals, like the healers that have been throughout history and what they've accomplished. Like we're here for big time healers. So the point of that was I get really excited about what I'm here to share that sometimes it leads me into like, wait, where's she going? Where's she going? Reverse, reverse, right? It's kind of like Bop It. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember Bop It where you'd like bop it in the middle? That was such a fun game. But going back to the inspired action. So let me give you guys an example. Here we go. We're back. We're back. When I was guided to take my most recent rest, it was unplanned. Unplanned, unexpected. And it was also at a time where I felt I had already rested. I wasn't working. I was deep in my own personal life. So wasn't that considered rest? No. What? No. Being a human being is hard work. Being a human being, whether it's work related or personal related, or maybe it's even a long vacation, like that still requires your work. That still requires your attention. That still requires you to be active. Rest really is you releasing, having no agenda, allowing yourself to just fully rest for the intention of resting the body, resting the mind, relaxing, 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 sleeping, sleeping, just allowing the rest to happen, right? So you can fill your energy cup back up. It's rest is the complete opposite of giving, 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 giving energy, but instead it's really allowing your energy to soften and to rest. So, how that looked for me was took me a while. I had a lot of limiting beliefs to face the morning of my rest. And it was so funny because I shared this with one of my healers, a very good friend of mine, and she laughed and said, "Wow, congrats. You transcended a lot of dark limiting beliefs by 12 p.m. That's awesome." And I was like, "You know what? You are right. What a win. That is a great rest day, and I'm only halfway through it." So that was really funny. But so that was part of my rest, right? It took me all morning to face many of my limiting beliefs, but then again, I did transcend them into much higher vibrational beliefs. So it took a lot of journaling, it took a lot of meditating, it took a lot of crying, it took a lot of moving my body and allowing whatever was stuck in there to release because literally I was exhausted. I was completely blocked. There was no way I felt it was even fair to send emails or do any type of client check ins because I was so exhausted. Like there was literally no energy to give. And instead of sending client check ins, I let clients know, "Hey guys, I'm taking today off. I will be back in tomorrow. I'm sending you all the love. Let me know how you're doing today and I will respond back tomorrow." Of course, had to release judgment and criticism on myself that I'm not good enough, that yada, yada, yada. Well, I danced it out, again, meditated, cried it out. Also, during my cry and release, I realized there was other emotions and realizations I was having about events that are happening in my life, right? Future events that I'm preparing for. And moments of fear and sadness and grief were coming up. But I didn't realize those had to be faced. So, in the process of realizing I needed rest, of course, because I'm being prepared for a lot more than I even have planned, all great things, by the way, all great things. I had to give myself rest and face whatever healing needed to happen. So by 12 o'clock, I faced them, right? And I went for a walk because by this time I was exhausted, but I also felt depleted. I thought, okay, who am I now? Who am I? Because right now I'm just like exhausted. So I go into the sun with no intention to create work, with no intention to be of service, but to myself, to continue following myself and taking care of myself and resting. Well, I wanted to figure out who I was again, so all I did was go for a walk in the sun. I was blessed with the sun, literally with no intention but to just walk. And in the process, I was able to ground myself. I was able to feel the sun again. And then I come home into my sacred space. Thank goodness I am blessed with the sacred space. I light a candle. I put on essential oils in my diffuser and I just journal my desires, right? Because I've released, I danced it out, I moved it out, I faced it, I processed it, and I go out to the sun, I get some solar energy, and now I am writing what I desire. It came out, it flowed out, and I thought, cool, now it is time to rest. And in the process of that, my business mentor calls me, gives me the best conversation, and helps me rest, teaches me how he rests, right? Because I'm not going to sit and lie to him and say, I have no energy on a 2 p.m. on a Monday. I have no energy, right? I'm not going to lie to him and say, yeah, I've accomplished this. I'm doing this. No, the whole point of a mentor and a coach is to be freaking honest about what is going on in your life. So you guys can be human and help each other grow as humans. We're not robots. We're not plastic dolls. Like, we're literally humans. So that's what I did. And what this mentor of mine shared with me was better than anything I could have ever received on that day. And I would have never received what it is that he was there to share with me if I wasn't honest with my rest, if I didn't allow the rest to happen. And also, if I wasn't honest about resting, right? Like, so much more is being given to us and we can even comprehend for ourselves. So after that, I rested. All right, you guys. And after the rest, I woke up the next day clear as can be. I'm also not sharing, and I'm so silly that I didn't share this, but because I know I'm being prepared and my my perspective has shifted with resting, I also knew, oh, today's a rest day. What feels really good for me and my soul right now? And immediately I thought of my favorite organic juice bar. And even as my business mentor said, you invest and give to a lot of people. Why don't you give and invest to yourself today? Give yourself all the things that you would give to your best friend. Give yourself all those things that you would give to yourself on a very special day. Do the things you would do on your birthday. Do it for yourself now. Give yourself rest. Allow yourself to fully receive. And I thought, I just want to fill myself up with lots of fresh juices, organic, fresh, delicious juices, right? I just want to fill myself up with delicious, fresh fruits and vegetables. So on my rest day, I'm blessed and I'm abundant. I went to my favorite juice bars. I also went to a very local small business and bought a very special candle. And then I went and bought fresh produce for the day. So, you guys, the next day, I accomplished more of my to do list that I thought would take me the whole month of May. Not only did I accomplish that, but I made more money in that next day than I thought I would. And it was only the very beginning of the month. I made more money that next day than I literally thought would take me most of the month to receive. And I don't want to say it's all about the money, but that's a clear indication that I took care of myself. And in the process of serving myself, I'm obviously being of service for others. And because I know when money is given to me, there's a level of service that has been exchanged, right? Maybe whether through it's a donation or random money drop for myself, I know that I'm giving in other ways, and universe is serving me in return. Or it's a client, right? And in the process of providing for my clients, I'm being served in exchange financially so I can take care of myself, right? And so knowing that resting as a healer, there is such a grander blessing than you could ever try to control. So when you are resting, I fully ask of you to immerse yourself in the rest. Do what has to be done to rest. Accept the healing that comes through that rest. Do all you can to rest. And take the inspired action after the rest, because again, that inspired action is beyond you. That inspired action is going to lead into the next journey. And that inspired action is also, this is like a bonus to healers and resting. And whenever you listen to this episode, and if you have to even re listen to it as a reminder, you guys, this is like a huge human universal secret. I don't even know if secret's the right word, but I'm going to use it right now. The inspired action that you're led to do after that rest is what universe is wanting from us for that season. Typically, your rest is in between different seasons of your life. A deep rest like that, where there's healing involved, where there's releasement involved, where there's deep self, unexpected love and self care, such as me getting all my juices and all the fruits and veggies. Like, there's inspired action that is going to transcend you into your next season, right? And for me right now, I'm going more to a plant-based diet, right? 2020, I was eating a little bit more meat, which was fine. It gave me life. Like I felt great and I was led that moment. I'm not going to judge myself. Well, right now I'm being asked to dig deeper into raw, fresh fruits and vegetables and to be very, very mindful of what I'm putting in my body, right? And so, what am I being prepared for? I mean, it's also beyond me. It's also in alignment to the desires and manifestations, right? So, it's it's a reminder of the inspired action that comes from that rest is also guiding you into a next season. So, the emails that I accomplished, the questions I had about my business and my purpose, all of that was clear the next day, right? And so I no longer have to worry about my purpose, worry about what I'm here to be serving, because I know that could be exhausting as a healer. What am I really here to do? What am I really here to give? Is that really in alignment with me? Well, allow yourself to rest and then trust this next season of your life. Because healers, especially as you're beginning opening your businesses, and for many of us, because I also know that for many healers, we are stepping very deep into this work and allowing it to evolve into all parts of our life and to evolve into even conversations between family members and loved ones. Like it's becoming a big part of our lives, right? Like it's becoming a big, big part of our purpose of healing, which is a blessing. Like how incredible and beautiful and what a grand blessing. Like I never imagined to be able to share that and say this out loud with confidence. Like, wow, being a healer is becoming a very, very strong, full time, abundant job where we're becoming very, very healthy and wealthy and free to be ourselves and be supported and have community. Like, that is epic. That is huge. What a blessing. What a grand blessing. And remembering, too, that where you're led to this season, it's all just a season, right? So, no need to hold immediate attachment, no need to feel like you are stuck anywhere. No, this is where you're being asked to grow because your next moment of rest and your next season will transcend you into your next version, which will then shift you into where you're needed next. So release pressure from yourself and release pressure from where you're at right now and allow yourself to just keep emerging. Allow the rest to be enjoyable. Allow the rest to happen. And remember, you're a human being. So if you're struggling to find motivation towards accomplishing your day to day tasks because you're so focused on that big, grand goal, well, I ask you to make slightly smaller goals for your month to month because that grand goal is always going to be there. It's always there. It's there because it already exists. So, how can you bring the joy and celebration into the now, right? So, make goals that are going to be attainable month to month so you can celebrate yourself, so you can make this experience enjoyable again, so you can cheers with your loved ones or with yourself by the end of the week or the end of the month, right? Celebrate yourself, keep celebrating yourself, and remember that those small goals are all leading to that big grand goal. It's just the attitude of this human experience that we're being asked to shift. And when you're shifting the way you respond to yourself as a human being, it's going to shift the way others are responding to themselves, which then will shift on how they're probably responding to you. Because healers, I know it's very easy for us to blame others for the results in our lives, or it's very easy to be resentful or bring our energy outward on who's not doing what and who's doing what and they should be doing this or they shouldn't be saying that. Well, how are you treating yourself in this whole entire human experience? Because remembering how you're treating yourself is how you're also treating others. And as healers, it's really important that we remind ourselves that giving grace and being compassionate with ourselves and accepting of ourselves hasn't always been taught to us because we are very different. But luckily, we're in this lifetime and we're being asked to be compassionate with ourselves. And as we're being compassionate with ourselves, we're able to share that compassion and radiate that to others, which just becomes a reflection of compassion. Because thank goodness, this human life is not easy. This human life is a challenge. And like Susan Graw said and has taught me, each human is here really teaching other humans what emotions are as a human, Like, truly, when we hear very devastating stories on the news, even just in people's lives, it's not to remind us or tell us that this whole world is doomed. It's to remind you of the emotions that you have as a human being. And we can transcend any emotion into the emotion of our choice. And let me just share with you that the emotion of compassion, the emotion of love, the emotion of forgiveness, the emotion of grace has been very profound in my life and has really led me to more wealth, more health, more success, more energy, greater connection with those who are at a higher frequency than I am, so then I can reach even higher. Like, I'm grateful for all of those in my life who are at a higher frequency than me. I don't think they're better than me. I'm also not envious of them. Instead, I reflect and I share with that journey, or I ask myself, how can I become radiant in that way? Right? Of course, I see Amanda Francis, who I really admire, and I'm like, she's a very wealthy woman, but she also decides what a wealthy woman looks like for her, right? She decides how she carries herself. I'm not going to say I'm not good enough to be that way. No, what is a wealthy woman? How does she carry herself? Right? My business mentor, very, very strong, strong in his voice, strong in the way he talks, does not care what other people think about him. Well, I'm not going to be jealous or envious or think, oh, because he's a man, he gets to be that way. I'm not going to victimize myself or think I'm less than. No. How can I be strong in who I am? How can I be strong and confident in my voice? How can I not worry about what others think of me? Well, I don't worry about what others think of me because I know I'm here to create big impact. And if I'm here creating and receiving that big impact, then I can help others do the same. Right. And I've also learned that from my business mentor. If he is accomplishing all that it is that he wants to accomplish, sure, he may be seen at in a certain way, but he's the one accomplishing. And luckily for me, I reached out to him and said, hey, I could use some help. And he said, I'm here. I'd love to help you. Right? All you got to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. And in the process of him helping me and all that is that he's done for himself in the grand picture of him just wanting to continue to succeed, he's able to help me, which ripple effects into me being able to help others. And that's what you're all here to do, healers. We're all really here to learn with one another, be raised vibrationally with one another, so we can continue to do that for others. There's never too many healers in the world. That doesn't even exist. We are infinite. We are infinite. The opportunities are infinite. The clients we are serving are infinite. The healing is infinite. The wealth is infinite. The health is infinite. The desires are infinite. We are just constant, infinite, energetic beings. And it's okay to rest. It's part of the human experience. And that's actually where so much magic lies. So, I hope that you enjoy your rest. I would love to hear how your rest goes. Share with me what shifted for you from your rest. Send me a DM, repost this episode, and share how has rest impacted your life? What do you know has shifted because of your rest? Tag me. I would love, love, love to hear from you and celebrate you and hold you to that high vibration, because as you celebrate yourself and share your celebrations with others, you are allowing your energy to be seen and loved and raised. Like, high vibrations receive high vibration in return. And we're all worthy of high vibration and abundance and love. Like, high vibrational rest led me to high vibrational success and inspired action, and very high vibrational words of wisdom that I would not have received if I would have just pushed myself or whined about my rest or whined about being tired, right? Like, no, let me just embrace this and allow myself to receive by resting. So I hope you guys have a great rest and allow yourself to rest. I love you all so much. And really good news. I'm recording this episode on 5/5. Apparently, it's a very, very big time, the 5/5 portal. I'm all about portals. I already knew a portal was coming because, like I just mentioned, I was in a deep rest. So, the spiritual business program is for healers who are here to finally start helping others full time. You're healing day to day, family by family, friend to friend, yourself. Why not get paid for it? You deserve it. You also deserve to make healing more of your life if that's what you know you're here to be doing. That's what a spiritual business program is here to do. It's here to help support you and make that dream come a reality. And we don't start till May 11th. So you have a few days. You guys apply. Link is in my bio. Please join us. I would love to meet with you and interview you and see if the spiritual business program is aligned with you. So sending you all the love, and please like, subscribe, follow, and leave a review for She Who Heals. That would mean the world to us and also would help others receive this wisdom and activations. I love you and have a great day.